Today, Senator Mitch McConnell is talking about the balance of power in Washington and the presidential race. Making adjustments to meet the changing times as Norton Healthcare opens a permanent drive-through testing facility for patients. Good afternoon, I'm Monica Hart, and at this hour, the 2020 presidential election results are still too close to call. Neither President Trump nor Joe Biden have met the threshold of 270 in the Electoral College. As Skylar Henry reports, ballot counting continues in several states.
The vote counting continues today and could keep going for several more days as battleground states process a record-setting amount of votes.
That's what normally happens in elections. People vote, we count the votes, and then there's a winner and there's a loser.
Democratic nominee Joe Biden has pulled ahead in the upper Midwest states of Wisconsin and Michigan.
Joe Biden is on track to win this election, and he will be the next president of the United States.
While Pennsylvania still has about 1 million votes left to be counted, many of them in Democratic-friendly areas.
Pennsylvania is the real key here. I think Pennsylvania could take a couple more days to count all of those ballots. A lot of them are coming from Philadelphia and the suburbs of Philadelphia.
While election officials are calling for patience, President Trump is calling for a halt to the vote counting. The president tweeted this morning, "Last night I was leading, often solidly in many key states. Then one by one, they started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted. Very strange." Last night, he said he would fight the vote counts.
We'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
The Biden campaign responded, saying if the president makes good on his threat to go to court to try to prevent the proper tabulation of votes, we have legal teams standing by, ready to deploy to resist that effort. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump didn't say what grounds he would use to get the courts to stop the vote count from taking place. Within the past few hours, U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell talked about the presidential election and votes that will send him back to Washington for a 7th term. McConnell defeated Democrat Amy McGrath and Libertarian Brad Barron. Senator McConnell said McGrath ran a spirited race, but he sees his reelection as proof that Kentuckians want a senator who has real political clout in Washington. This morning, McConnell was asked about where the presidential race stands now and the possibility of litigation.
Going to court is the way we resolve uncertainty in our country. So, no, I'm not troubled at all by the president suggesting that, because the other side's already doing it too. And you can anticipate in close elections, both sides will be lawyered up and we'll end up in court. It's happened over and over and over again. Nothing unusual.
McConnell was also questioned about the president's claim overnight that he'd already won the election. McConnell said claiming to win an election is different than finishing the count. And we'll have more election 2020 coverage coming up in just a few minutes. You can also find extensive coverage online right now at WLKY.com. Right now, let's get a check of that forecast with meteorologist Mo Rose. Mo, we have sunshine and warmer temperatures today as well. Are we going to keep this trend going?
Oh, yeah. Your sunglasses are getting a workout this week, Monica. Look at the visible satellite. I got this going, this loop. Nothing is happening on the screen. Okay, we just have some cloud cover over in southern Illinois, parts of Missouri. But other than that, we are cloudless across the region. This is what that looks like over downtown. Isn't that gorgeous? Nothing in the sky except a plane. Just beautiful blue skies out there, and we're going to be enjoying that pretty much all day long. 68 degrees right now, a light breeze out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Dry conditions, too, that dew point at 42 degrees. It is feeling very nice out there, and temperatures also responding to all of this sunshine. 64 in Bardstown. We're at 67 in Grayson County, 64, 63 up in Seymour, 64 in Madison. Just a beautiful midday and a great day to get out there and ride that bike. I think we're going to top out around 73 degrees, so we will be warmer. And at this point, during this part of the early November, we should be closer to 64 degrees. We're also enjoying dry skies all the way through the weekend, and we're continuing to climb in temperature as well. We're looking at record warmth as we get into the early parts of next week. We'll talk about how warm it's going to get and how long we're going to be holding on to these dry conditions coming up. Monica?
Thanks so much, Mo. Continuing our Commitment 2020 coverage, 5 seats on the Louisville Metro Council were on the ballot Tuesday. Democrat Barbara Shanklin secured a 6th term representing District 2. Her district includes Newburgh and Butrell. Democrat David James will again represent the 6th district, which includes Old Louisville, the Central Business District, Algonquin, and Shelby Park neighborhoods. Democrat Cindy Fowler won a tight race with Republican Michael Powell in District 14, representing Valley Station and PRP. In District 16, Republican incumbent Scott Reed held on to his lead over Democrat James Green. And in District 18, Republican incumbent Marilyn Parker beat Democrat Merle Corlett. All 6 of Kentucky's congressional seats were on the ballot. The 3rd district covers most of Jefferson County. Kentucky's only Democrat in Congress, John Yarmuth, won re-election, defeating Republican Rhonda Palazzo. Republican Congressman Brett Guthrie has won a 7th term. He defeated Democrat Hank Lunderman for a 2nd time. Guthrie represents the 2nd district, which covers West Central Kentucky and includes Bullitt, Hardin, Nelson, and Meade counties. Congressman Thomas Massie is the winner of the 4th district. He defeated Democrat Alexandro Ormsby to serve a 5th term. The 4th district stretches from eastern parts of Jefferson County into northern Kentucky. In Kentucky's 1st congressional district, Republican James Comer defeated Democrat James Rhodes to win a 3rd term in Congress. 5th district Congressman Hal Rogers and 6th district Congressman Andy Barr also both won re-election. Voters in Kentucky also voted in favor of creating a crime victims' Bill of Rights. Marsy's law would require victims to be notified about hearings, guaranteed they could be heard in court, and require judges to consider their safety when setting bond. Marsy's law was approved by voters back in 2018, but was overturned by Kentucky Supreme Court. Republicans are holding on to all statewide executive offices in Indiana. Governor Eric Holcomb was reelected to a 2nd term. He defeated Democrat Woody Myers and Libertarian Donald Rainwater.
Let's get busy helping our neighbors in need, just like all those nurses and doctors and assistants and teachers and law enforcement officials and firefighters and Indiana National Guards, women and men. Every time they leave home to serve us. Let's get busy by building up our neighborhoods and our neighbors. Let's get busy by proving the truth will prevail against any detachment.
The only other statewide race in Indiana was the election for Attorney General. Former Republican Congressman Todd Rokita defeated former Evansville Mayor Jonathan Weinzapfel. Rokita's campaign confirmed earlier Tuesday that he's working from home after testing positive for COVID-19. The campaign says he was exposed to the virus by someone unconnected to any campaign activities.